So guys, while I was up at the tractor club the other day, I had my clamp on forks fail again. I picked up a set of small scales we have up there. So I ended up breaking the other nuts out of there since the one pulled up through, and welded a nut on the bottom and put a carriage bolt up through. I figured at worst I can still use the 1/2 inch there, and I welded the handles back on. This one here is a little bit crooked, but it's on there. So we'll see how that holds up. And on the side that tore out, I welded a washer underneath, then welded the nut to it. So we'll see how my kindergartner pudding looking welds hold. We'll see. They're going to get tested this weekend. All I can tell you. Clamp on forks update. Other than it's broken a little bit, they've been working good. So later, guys. Alrighty, this video is going to be for anybody who's removing the front drive shaft, either Sc2400 or Sc2450 Yanmar. Just so you guys are aware, get the light here a little bit. There is 2 roll pins. They have a big roll pin and a small roll pin inside of that. Why they did that, I don't know. Instead of just one, that is strange. That kind of threw me. I got the small one out, and then I was trying to get the drive shaft to go back and forth, and I remember looking at the diagram. It did show 2 somethings, and I got the next size bigger punch out and started hammering on it, and lo and behold, there's 2 of them, and it has there's a snap ring that goes the whole way around them to keep them from walking out on their own. So basically, I'm gonna go out and drive this thing around a second. Make sure the squeak is gone, but hold on a second here. But this U-joint is one way is pretty bad. I think I'm gonna need 2 hands to show you guys. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. Which way is it bad? I know one way it's got a good bit of play to it. I can't see it there. Hold on. Let me get the tripod and I'll set this up. Okay. If you guys will be able to see it. Okay. It's this one right here. They all got a little bit of play to it, but I'm betting the needle bearings are 8 out of this, and it doesn't. Well, one time there it actually hung up, so it's actually grinding up the needle bearings is what it's doing. So let me get this thing popped apart. Looks like this has little clips to it. And whenever I get a U-joint number, I will make darn sure and post this somewhere online, because I cannot find the answer anywhere. And hopefully you guys can see the telltale rust dust on that one there. Something eating up rusty needle bearings. I told one of the guys at work today, I said this is probably from when I had the Yanmar buried about 4 years ago in deep water, that the water probably got in this U-joint, and it's not greasable, so nothing you can do about it. So not too bad of a job to take it out once you know about them double tension pins set up in there. So anyhow, let me get this rest of the way apart. So we've got the U-joint apart, all laid on the bench here. Only one of the 4 cups and needle bearings were actually totally good in. One set was rusty. One set was all chewed up. These pieces come out of the first side I took apart. Second set was rusty. I'm sure they're scattered about on the floor. And these are clip style U-joints from factory. So, alright. So here's the little jewel I need. With these attached, and it actually needs a good one of these in there. It'd be nice if I could get a greasable one for there, because that's definitely a high use area. You could see this side here and this side here were rusty, where these two were okay. And that's what it was doing. It was binding and going around and squeaking. So yokes look okay. Splines look okay down in there. They should be, because it's got a roll pin that holds everything. Two tension pins, however you want to look at it. So guess I'll pick one of those up tomorrow. Alrighty guys, so got a new U-joint from Napa. It's a SKF, which unfortunately it says made in China, but you know. And it's a UJ392. The only thing the guy said was, compared to the one on the left compared to the one on the right, the spacing between the snap rings or the ring collars, this is 7 thousandths wider than this. So I may have to grind a smidge out of this, all four sides, or it may just fit in there perfectly. Who knows? So for right now, I'm just going to put it together, and guess what? If I can get them in there, I'll get them in there. If not, I will peen the outsides over a little bit, and we will call it good. So I'm not going to show you guys assembling this, but I'm going to assemble it here. Have to be kind of mindful of the one with the grease fitting on it. Decide where I want it. I don't think it really matters because they both stick out the same. So anyhow, I'll get that put in there, and I'll show you guys the after results. Alrighty guys, so I'm not gonna lie to you. The new U-joint was actually too large, and I could not physically get the cross to go in the shafts. So what I did, and I know I'm gonna get some flack for this, which is fine, but I need this right now. So, and the other place I could go and get a U-joint wouldn't be open till Monday. So basically what I did is I reused the old cross with the new caps, and basically the old one was non-greasable kind, so it didn't have holes drilled. So I obviously it's hardened. I tried it just for its and giggles, but I'm not going to drill a hole through that. So what I did, I just greased them up real good, put them in there. Obviously the grease has oozed out of there, but everything's working good. Everything's moving free enough. It's a little snug this one direction, but I'm going to go do one of two things: either work or it won't. And with this part number here, I can get a cap size, and I know this one is physically a little bit larger inside, snap ring to snap ring's surface. So I'm going to look up and see what the actual U-joint for this should be, and I will post it here and in the description below when I get it figured out, and on MTF and whatnot. So anyhow guys, it's kind of a little bit of a bummer. I figured this would be easy to put in, but when it just physically wouldn't fit, and I wasn't going to grind this down or grind the ears in here so it would slide in or anything. So figured that was the best of the worlds I could come up with. Correct? Will it work? Yaha. So let me get it stuck back in the machine here, and we'll see if she squeaks anymore. I know it didn't squeak with the drive shaft out of it, so put her back in and she squeaks. We got more problems. So here I go. So guys, it's a whole lot quieter than it was before. Let's see if I can get my hand on this. Oh, actually I need this hand. The wheels rolling around with stuff inside of them make more noise than the drive shaft does now, so Basically, it's got the same. Oh, you guys can't see. Hold on. I'm sorry. And basically, it's got the same thing going on at both ends here. So yeah, everything else looks alright. I see this joint back here. You guys might be able to make it out there. There's a little bit of rust coming out of the splined area, so probably while I had that out of there, I should have just took them bolts out, slid that forward, and put some grease in it, but a little too late now. See where my high-low shift seal's leaking. So, okay, I'm going to get on the hunt for the actual right U-joint, but that may last me 10 years. I mean, who knows? I don't put hundreds of hours on this thing usually, so for right now, all we can do is run it and see what happens. The curious thing I had, does not look like that grease fitting is rubbing in there, so should be okay. And this rubber boot around here may be half the problem, but it does have a opening in the bottom so water can't stay in it, but it can get packed full of mud. So alright guys, gonna be it for this one. So I'm just gonna pick it up in the air and make sure it works and everything, and then I'm gonna put the skid plate back on it with the two bolts that are still holding, because where the heck does that skid plate mount even? Alright, it mounts right here. Basically there's a skid plate to protect this plastic fuel tank. So look, I got the welds broke around that nut there. All the loader frame stuff. I know one of these I actually pulled through. You see that one up there is broke. You guys can see that. So this right hand side, I must have broke all the welds for the bolts that one day. One of them, oh, this one right here is the one I pulled the threads through the frame. On the left hand side, everything looks okay. I'm going to double check off camera, but that looks like it's just a scratch. Where's that? Right there in the center of your screen at the corner there. I will double check that, but I'm pretty sure it's just a scratch in the paint. You guys can see the sealant is starting to come off the oil pan from when it was new. This thing is 8 years, or I've had it for 8 years. There's where the tabs broke off for the front mounting tabs of that skid plate. Both sides are broke, you know. Always said I'm gonna fix that, and I never really have. I just don't feel like welding right next to the diesel tank down here. It's a plastic tank and all, but that's just bad juju, especially considering the tank sits on that. So, alrighty guys. Like I said, I'm gonna double check a few things here off camera, and then I'm gonna slap her back together and see what happens. Catch everybody later. I will say one thing, doing this with Yanni makes this so much easier. That's all I'm gonna say. Without this tractor, this would be hours of back-breaking work. Hours. So right now I've been at it for a whole half an hour, maybe. Maybe I've been out here an hour, who knows. So I got the hard part off the trailer. The rest of these roll, except for this 65 was a little bit stuck. So I think I'm going to go through and take pictures of the serial numbers while I'm thinking about it now. And I'll come back with you guys after that.